to pay the full value of that house every year in tax. That will discourage people from hoarding house. This is what the drug barons are doing. This is what the kickback, brown bag people doing. They go and they buy up properties fast to hide the money. When you let them buy up properties, the law of your land, the law that answers to you, the law that is written in your name, when you let them buy up the properties you can't afford it. Because the price gets supply and demand. The price reaches out of your range. We have a housing development in Shorelands that is itself a criminal enterprise. It broke the law, the convention of Shorelands. You're not supposed to go higher than 3 stories in Shorelands. If you all don't know that, that's a convention. And the people who built it went to the Minister of Planning and got a variation. And the people in the community went to the Member of Parliament and begged him, please don't let them get that variation. What they didn't know is the Minister of Planning and the Member of the Parliament was the same guy. Same guy. Same guy. Same Keith Rowley, you know, Prime Minister today. Same Keith Rowley. And that property has apartments in it, I understand, selling for $15 million. $15 million for an apartment in Trinidad and Tobago. And the average person can't own a home. I don't want to keep you all back long. I want to tell you something. Go home and download the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The first page, just read the preamble. Read the first 10 lines. What you will see that will shock you is that the first thing that the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago recognizes is the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The most important thing to the supreme law of this land is the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Before the Parliament, before the police, before any other law, the rights of the citizens is the most important thing to the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And when you read that and you recognize that, you will understand your power. It is time to flip the script. We need to build organizations that challenge these established gangs. These gangs that are exchanging power, that are putting their people in key public positions, so that 62 years now, trillions of dollars known to be stolen. We call the names of a rogues gallery, from Johnny Ota, was it that last one, ISIS, SIS, and everybody in between. And not one single person has ever been charged or jailed. None of the money has ever come back. We settle for firing them. We fire them and that's punishment. So he walk away $500 million, but we fire him. Where the people money? This organization hopes to do one thing. We hope to disturb the order by empowering the people with information. Over this last Christmas here, we embarked on a campaign to fight Fire One Fireworks. I called Andre Abraham by name. Yesterday I found out Andre and I born on the same day. I called Andre Abraham by name and we were fighting fireworks because every year the public begging for representation. Because your granny and your tanty and your baby, 4 o'clock in the morning, things exploding like in Baghdad. And we told the people boycott. And the people boycotted. And we told the police enforce the law. And the commissioner of police put out a release that says the police cannot enforce the law. So we told the people, this is the law. When you call the police, read this law and tell them your job is to enforce that law. And to find out the name of the police officer who you gave that report to. Because if they don't go and enforce the law, we will then make a report to the Police Complaints Authority. Within 24 hours, a very senior police officer, friend of mine, told me thousands of calls. The people of Trinidad and Tobago responded, bombarded them with calls and educated the police as to the law. And in 24 hours, the same commissioner of police put out a next media release saying, yes, there is a law and we will be enforcing it. That is the power of the people. That is what we say empowerment means. That is what we hope to do by empowering the people. It is our intention to fight for home ownership so that the average person could own their home and have an investment in Trinidad and Tobago. If you cannot have your piece of this country, what's the point? How many people you know have left Trinidad and gone away, and next 2 years you find out they buy a big house? They can't buy a fridge box on the highway in Trinidad, but they buy a big house in America. Our country not helping them, billions passing, Uncle Sam put them in a house. How do we flip that script? We go to the source. You want to see what empowerment is? We will call one march. If the people come, we march. If people don't come, we say the people don't want to march and we're good. But I hope the people come. We're going to put out a petition just to sign up for the march. We're not marching without 25,000 people. That's the number. Because we're going to the parliament with something called Principles of Good Governance. And we're addressing it to all 41 members of parliament, and 25,000 people strong will say to them, we want referendum. We want fixed election date. We want to separate the legislature from the executive so no member of parliament can ever be a minister again, himself to himself. We don't want that again. And we're going to ask them for recall. And we're going to insist on recall because they will tell us this will take time. We will hand them recall legislation already drafted. So go and debate this and pass it into law, because if I could hire you, it stands to reason I should be able to fire you. This organization this first gathering, this will grow. Because every time we talk to people, the first thing they say is, that's true, boy. We could really do that, boy. We could get this done, boy. And we show them how it's done. We show them how it's done. We formed an organization called the Diego Martin Redevelopment Committee for one purpose. To get a bypass to four roads. Because anybody living here in Diego Martin might remember there was a time before the highway extension was built that you used to spend 2 hours in traffic from Movie Town every day to get to Diego Martin. Every side street in Woodbrook, every side street in St. James, chock-a-block and people fighting. Because if somebody sneezed by four roads, traffic back up. And we went to the government and we lobbied the government. And gentleman Jack came out there and he realized he could get some pips and some props. So he said, okay, we will build it. And we got, for the people of Diego Martin, the highway bypass, traffic in the evening done. No more traffic going home. Traffic coming out in the morning. The second part of the thing was, the lane already exists, and I'm just telling you this, the lane already exists to come out of Diego Martin, and it's there covered by a pavement between Powder Magazine and the community hospital. And if we just get them to move that back because the land exists and pave it, this will take a weekend. Next time you go and to leave your home on a morning, there will be no traffic. These are the kind of things we want to stand for. Colville Street here, this Colville Street here, 200,000 people are trying to come up the street in the morning. So and on an evening. So the traffic backs up right down Wrightson Road. And then, of course, if the traffic backing down Wrightson Road, we all know the game we play driving called leapfrog. If it back up on Wrightson Road, then we run up the side street on the Arapita Avenue. Arapita Avenue get chock-a-block too. So we run up to Warren Street, and then we reach Tragate Road. And the whole place in a mess, because we can't seem to understand. If you're trying to get 50,000 people going so, and 50,000 coming so, if they're trying to cross each other, we ain't going nowhere. And we're not getting governments to see that simple workaday solutions. We don't want fanciness, you know. The average person just want to like themselves. We ain't want contracts. We ain't want to come and sit down in the parliament and pelt stupid talk. We just want to be able to go to work, earn we salary, come home, pay we mortgage, and like we sell. That's all we want. That's all we want. And these simple little workaday solutions that we want, if you advocate for it before. So we have to be able to say, the government, and I want you all to remember this, we say, stop voting people into power. Vote them into office. We have the power. And when we get the recall legislation, when we come and tell you that we want this as a law. If you don't pass that as a law, we will recall you and replace you. That's how democracy works. We are electing 5-year dictatorships every time we go to the polls now. That have to stop. That have to stop. This plastic bottle. When you go to the Labas, anytime you see a flood, after the flood done, what you see in the road? 1 million of this. Yeah? 1 million of this. You know what they have in the parliament, 10 years now? Something called the beverage container bill. It exists, you know. It's done. We've spent the money. They've researched it, they've debated it, they've written it down, it exists. Put a little return on this bottle. 21 cents, 25 cents. Put anything. The homeless people will pick this country clean. Y'all remember when Karen used to give money for the glass bottle? You trying to drink a beer by smoking and bunting now. 2 vagrants stand there waiting to see who getting out. You remember that? The homeless will pick this. They will go in the Labas and the Labas will drop. They will take give them the money. You understand what I'm trying to say? Simple little workaday solutions like this. We will fix this country. Solve traffic. People, every time I talk and I write something, if I don't write about crime, and then they say, what about crime? Crime is not a problem by itself. Crime is a symptom of a badly managed, dysfunctional society. That is what crime is. All of our crime in this country comes from illiteracy, poverty, drug trafficking, government corruption, and mismanagement. So if we know that, and we could address that, why we have crime? You think the government wants you to be distracted by crime? You think the government wants you to be distracted by traffic? You think Sunati Maharaj know? You think she don't know that Kliko running away with $20 billion is a bigger story than Faris posing his tail in the parliament pretending that child brides are issue in this country? The same Faris Al-Rawi that stand up in any other nation, police would have gone knock on his door. Faris Al-Rawi told the nation that the medical institutions of this country broke 2 laws 743 times. That they've administered illegal abortions without that, which is breaking the law, to underage girls without informing the police, which is them also breaking the law. So they break the law twice. And nobody followed that up. Sunati Maharaj didn't ask Faris, give us the list. Show us the names. I have been told by somebody working high up in the citizen security program, gang members renting young girls to make babies. You want a way to take all them gang members off the street? Statutory rape. Get the information. If the Attorney General knows how the laws are being broken, and he is not taking action against that, we need to fire him. Faris Al-Rawi need to fire himself too. And that is where we need to be. To bring this to a quick close, I just want to say to you what we want to be. We plan to go on a 41 constituency tour of this nation to have meetings like this. We hope to grow in numbers. Not numbers to support us. Ian said it, I say it again. We are looking for no work. Barry, when you write on social media tonight telling Philip, say, you want a job. I'm not in this for a contract. I don't want a shortcut. We here to fix Trinidad and Tobago. And the way we're going to fix Trinidad and Tobago is to put the power of government back in the hands of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is the entire purpose of this organization. So, we want to ask you to join so that we could have numbers. So that when we call people out, we want contact information. So that when the media, imagine CCN TV6 sponsor a protest in this country. I thought I woke up in a bizarre world. How does the media sponsor a protest? How is that possible? But the public of Trinidad and Tobago, they can't fool them anymore. We have social media, people talking. So all the selfie activists went down there in their paid for soundbite, and they didn't get half the crowd we have here tonight. They didn't get half the crowd, and they had food sharing. Sorry, we have no food yet. Somebody tell me it can't be rum and roti politics. I say, well, I don't mind if they move the rum. But we got some roti in this politics, right? No, but seriously, we need you to sign up. We need your contact information. We're not going to abuse it. We're going to make sure that we're going to give you regular input and information. Our job is about empowerment. Our job is about making progressive suggestions. We want to encourage the people to debate and offer their own opinions. That's why we want to have an open mic every time we have an event. And we will have an open mic session, I think, but just no mics. We'll just have an open session, right? And everybody could talk and you could vent and you could share your ideas too. Because everybody in this country, when you look at your friends and your family, when they go abroad and they get a little opportunity, they fly. Trinidadians are the best people in the world. We are the best people in the world. There are fields of endeavor in this world that a Trinidadian is number one in many fields of endeavor. We need to get back to a time when this country is one people. Everybody having the same access to government. Everybody having the same access to advantages. It mustn't be, I know a man, he gets in office, me and he work a deal, and all of a sudden I drive in a Range Rover. And nobody asking me a question. I still drive a Nissan Navara. I don't want it. I swear to God, I don't want it. I don't want to change my life. I want at the end of the day that when I come to the end of the road of my life, I feel like I did the best that I could have done with what I was given. That's my whole news. If we find along the way that 41 constituency tour, we find a better political leader, we bring it in one time, interim, 12 months or less, depending on how fast we get the membership, we'll call internal elections. We want this to be the most democratic of organizations, owned by the people. In our release today in the media, we said, no member is higher than the next. It belongs to the people of the party. And none of us are going to be trying to hold on to office. So, I just want to wrap up. We will be talking a lot more. You'll know I talk a lot. We will be going on tour. The next meeting after this is San Fernando. We're going to Tobago. We're going to the University of the West Indies. We're going Central. We're going Arima. That's the plan. Right now, that's the working plan. We want the team to come with us as we build. In between all of that, we are going to be organizing the People's March for Justice. And we are going to go to the government and the opposition, the 41 members of parliament, and hand them principles of good governance and ask them, make this law. And that's what we're for. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll open the floor. Any questions, suggestions? Okay, then you.
And good night to everyone. I'm going to try not to bore you and keep it short, right? But just bear with me a little bit. Okay, so my two associates here work on the women's rights. How do women's groups in Trinidad deal with these issues? That the issues you highlighted, child marriages, problems in the women's sector. What do women groups do in Trinidad? Because I haven't heard any from them. And I fall in that category as well because I am head of a women's foundation. And I feel passionate about this as well. Now, the other associate here mentioned the role of a woman, and I was a bit ticked. No, I'm just very outspoken, so please stop me if you think I'm going overboard. But I was a bit ticked that you spoke about it in a home aspect and not on a holistic view, because I don't look at the role of a woman being cleaning the house, doing the dishes, seeing about kids. Women are out there working in work, and you need to account for them. There's the glass ceiling argument that we all, well, I say we all, you all women face in the workplace, right? How do you break this glass ceiling argument? Because we live in a patriarchal society, and we need male support to break these glass ceilings. And okay, yes, it is women's rights, but we need men on board. And I'm telling you a personal problem that I had with this. I launched this foundation, you could call, and it's a group of men supporting women's rights. Do you know how much men support I had? 2 votes, including myself. Two two guys. And this is where the problem lies with women's rights. We need men to understand that, okay, yes, we're no longer about we crack the whip and women gonna just run behind us. No, that's not how it works. Women work. Women do actually a lot more than men. And to be quite honest, I know a lot more women are way better at what I do than I am myself. So I think we do need to empower women, but in empowering women, we need to also educate men about their role with women. Secondly, with the two charters you highlighted, I studied those two charters in depth, right? In international protection of human rights. And yes, we are partners with the UN on these conventions, but breaking this is just public knowledge, right? But breaking these, example, child marriage, with the Child Marriage Act and whatnot, it is not illegal. We're not breaking law. What we are doing is breaking our signatory to the convention. And this is the problem that the general public don't have with the knowledge of the law, because not of ignorance, but because of lack of exposure. I would chalk a lot of things up to lack of exposure. And they look at the United Nations and European Union as having no bite force. So although we are in violation of these charters, there's nothing to say we broke a law, and that is where the problem comes in. There's no accountability. And again, one of the strong principles I see the party is founded on: accountability, transparency, and integrity. Right? So this is what we need to go back to. Other than that, I just touched on everything we spoke about, so just bear with me. We spoke about the environment, and you said the dump. I actually did not know that. 3 years, that could be tomorrow. Right? Now, what are we doing with alternative sources of energy? Because I believe we have water, wind, and heat, solar, right? Okay, yes, we are oil and gas based. I agree, but our oil will run out at some point in time. OPEC is only for OPEC. We are Commonwealth. Venezuela has more oil than Saudi Arabia, but yet still Saudi Arabia commands a higher barrel price than Venezuela, right? Good governance again. Back to the bare principles that we stand on and that you spoke about earlier. So why are we not looking into that? Because recycling, right? That's energy, that's job increase, that's everything across the board, right? Wind energy, there's Toko. The winds are coming in from that direction. Why are there not turbines out there? Why is there not water energy? Simple things like that. I am no oil producer or nothing like that, but I mean, this is common knowledge that every one of us here I sure held at some point in time. Other than that, education. Now, this was actually highlighted to me, and I'm sorry to call the name, but by Mr. Embridge. Education. We need to educate our masses, we need to educate our masses and our population, because the problem is, as he rightfully pointed out, 200,000 people are illiterate in Trinidad and Tobago. What's our population? 1.8, 1.9? No, 1.3 was about 3 years ago. Right? So it's gone up a little bit. I advise you to check those statistics. But education. The UN has now pioneered this new right, and I've started on the council for it, called the right to development in Southern American countries. Right to development is not only, we think development, we think about tall structures and paved roads. That's not only development. Development is also physical development of the person, child, family. Development is also emotional development, which is very important. What we need to look at is family life. We look at this as, okay, yeah, man, wife, child, whatever as the case may be. But family life is integral to the growth of our country. And not only population growth, but education growth, to the growth of the decrease in the crime rate as well. Because in a family, as a husband and wife, and you have a child, let me ask you a question. If you decide to spend time with your child and whatnot, and you keep them in the home, you keep them in events, in communal events, communal growth. Right to development is also a communal right. Now, what is a right? Can anybody tell me here what really is a right? What we call rights? We have rights to this, we have rights to that. What's really a right? Oh, I thought that was the answer. Sorry. No. Right, a privilege enshrined in law. No, a lot of people don't know, but we have something called paper rights. We have rights to everything. How do we access these rights? We have no accessibility, none whatsoever. So there's a difference between paper rights and actionable rights. And I'm sure you would agree with me there. We have a lot of rights. We have hundreds of thousands of rights. But how much do we really access? How much do we really use? How much are we allowed to access? There we boil back down to accountability. Right. Now, a couple points you were making on, and I saw you highlighted it in your post, and that's why I read every single one of your posts as it's post, right? I could be wherever. Now, we vote first past the post system, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I've sat down in discussions for the runoff system, and a lot of people was in disagreement with it. But if you all do your research on the runoff system, it encourages accountability for the population. And we are, as you said, a two-party system. We cannot be a two-party system if we want democracy. How could we be a two-party system if we want democracy? It doesn't make any sense. So in order to achieve that, then therefore we need to change the electoral system. And to change the electoral system, we need mass support. Other than that, I'd just like to close on a statement, and I think you would share the same sentiments. If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for the day. If you teach him how to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. I think we need to teach more people how to fish. Thanks.
Okay, before you go, take a look at the brochure. You have one? Oh, and contact us. We would like to share your ideas. The gentleman with the blue shirt, no, you wanna come up?
No, I don't have to come up.
Okay.
I think I speak loudly.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I thought it was a pillow here this evening.
Come on, they can hear you a little better.
I would like to use my words and classify this evening as a pillow because, I mean, I heard Philip speak about the initiatives to engender some pressure on the government, on the parliament. And I heard the other lady spoke about other topics, right? So I was under the impression that they were launching a party. And when you launch a party, you cannot bring fundamental change without power. But the people's power is one component of it. And like me, I have no parliamentary ambitions, but if I can contribute in some way, great. Right? Maybe the gray hair says why. But essentially, there are lots of things that I heard Philip speak about, and I mean, I've followed his writings for quite some time, and I must congratulate you. Right? It takes a lot to come out in an environment like this landscape. But I think structural change is important. For example, we still have the racial voting, the partisan type thing. And I'm saying, here you go into parliament and you're going to give people documents and try to pressure them into bringing about legislative changes to impact on your life. But I have never heard or seen a member of parliament in the last 20 years go to parliament, let's say the dog bill. He's going to go and espouse a party line where he represented me in St. Joseph. How could that be? He need to come and have 2 or 3 meetings with the constituents and fool me and say, hey, I'm only holding this thing. But you're now going to supposedly represent. You go to parliament and you to a party line. I'm saying structural changes are needed. And you only can bring that about to me through power. And not necessarily, the people marching and stuff. That's one component of it. So if you don't want to be a politician, there are other people, like you said, you will find. But I think you have to be that political animal because to me, the fundamental thing in this country is a lack of proper leadership. And if you have proper leadership, for example, I'm looking at the newspaper, I see Imbert goes to the States and gives 3.5% on a US dollar bond or whatever it is. So why can't he give Trinidadians 3.5%, let them bring back all the US from abroad and keep it here? And it will be domiciled in the central bank and we have FX. That is my layman's kind of analysis. I'm saying they're doing things with our monies and we don't know. So when you bring about on your strategic initiatives, your long list you have, add another page and say, hey, this secrecy in government. I hear cabinet had to meet if you want to make a savannah with 10 acres, a $50,000 thing. Okay. Yeah, cabinet meeting on our money under the rubric of national security or something. They can't tell me what to do with the money. These are the fundamental things that I don't care how much change we bring about, how much pressure group, how much march. I march from St. Joseph, Port of Spain, against the smelter. I was one of the few people in my life who could say that. I walked from 87 miles from St. Joseph, Port of Spain, against smelter, right, in our hot sun. Hot sun, days. But my point I'm making is that maybe the good intentions are there about bringing about fundamental change through pressure group. But ultimately, it leads to real politics. If you're a political party, you're a political party, and one component is the initiatives you will have, like what you outlined. Component two might be the topics the lady spoke about, and other topics maybe I can talk about. But those are not necessarily translatable into an initiative because you want to inform people. But some of them, and maybe all of them in this country, need initiatives. Strategic wants to go on, as you say, march by the man place. I think fundamental change, if not, it will take too long a time. Too long. And I think that maybe I thought tonight, along those lines, I would be hearing, well, we have an interim thing, we have a little committee doing so, we have one researching this, we have this is the, we have some organs in the pet. Maybe it's there and we didn't hear about it. Right? Anyway, thanks for your time. Have a safe drive back home.
Okay, just to summarize what